Hi everyone, I'm Lisa from the Car Collective, and I'm going to be sharing with you my DNA analysis experience. I was recently contacted by the Dnalysis team to do a complete analysis on my DNA from a nutrition, health and fitness perspective. And basically what the aim of Dnalysis is to actually give you insight into what kind of foods are best for your body specifically, what kind of training, any kind of health issues that you might be prone to from a genetic perspective. I'm really excited to get a bit of a deeper insight into my own genetics, and this is basically step one. So what happens is this gets delivered to you. It's a Dnalysis box, which is a collection kit, and essentially all it's for is to collect your DNA. Really simple. What it has inside is a DNA swab collector, which is going to go to the laboratory once I've sent this back. And in the box, you also have a client detail form, which you just fill in, and a little barcode over here, which you then stick the barcode on there to make sure that they can match you to your sample. Very important. And then here they have a really cool little diagrammatic explanation of exactly what you need to do in order to collect your DNA sample. It's really so simple. It's just a matter of opening up your little collector, taking this little device inside there, I don't know if you can see, and you just basically scratch it against the side of your cheek for about a minute or so. And you have to do it quite firmly to make sure that you're actually getting sufficient DNA onto the swab. You then take care not to make contact with any other part of your body, your fingers or whatever, or anything else. And then you put it back inside, close it up, put it back, fill in your form, and then they either collect for you or you can drop this off at the laboratory. I'm not exactly sure where that is because they're going to be collecting for me. I'm sure all that information is on the website. If you want any more information on how the process works, you can visit www.dnalysis.co.za, and all the information is there. So after step one, I'm now going to, as I said, have this collected. They're going to send my sample to the laboratory and they're going to do a full-on analysis on my genes from a nutrition, health and fitness perspective. They then generate a whole set of results, and I'm going to have it interpreted for me through a nutritionist who works with the Dnalysis team. You can have the results sent to any nutritionist of your choice, but for me personally, I would much prefer to use someone who's actually part of the Dnalysis team, because that person obviously far better understands how this works. So I'm really excited to see the results, and I will let you know how it goes. And today is part 2 of my discussion on Dnalysis. 3 weeks later, I now have my results, and I'm going to fill you in on exactly what I have found. So first and foremost, experience with Dnalysis has been really, really amazing, very, very professional. I was emailed after about 4 days by the dietitian. Her name's Jessica, and she works closely with Dnalysis. She was really awesome, checking in with me to see if my test results had been submitted yet, and she assured me that I would receive feedback soon. So from that point of view, I really was very impressed with how they handled everything, with their professionalism and so forth. So with regards to the test results, I must say I was a little bit surprised, because in the past I used to do the lower carb, high protein eating, predominantly plant-based with a little bit of fish here and there, but quite low carb. So lots and lots of greens and vegetables. What I did find while eating like that, I didn't feel very comfortable. I felt bloated often, especially when I ate a lot of salads. I then, subsequent to that, changed my eating completely, and I had a higher carb, much lower protein approach, which seems to really have worked for me. It seems like I needed much more fiber in my diet from actual grains. Now, I'm just speaking from me specifically, because I really do believe we are all individuals. Some people digest plant-based substances far better than others. It just depends on, again, your own body. So for me, eating more grains, predominantly proteins from legumes, works really, really well for me. I do sometimes have a little bit of fish, and the reason why is because it's just, the truth is, when you're training at the level that I do, Sometimes plant-based protein just doesn't cut it. I don't want to, but I do it just because I know my body needs it. What's interesting about Dnalysis is that it tells you about the genetic pairs that you have and what those expressed mean for your specific body. With me, for example, it says that in order to maintain my weight over time, it's best for me to eat a lower carb diet. So I did speak to a dietitian about that, and I said, listen, I'm eating like this, I'm eating much higher carbs and grains, and so my carb intake is actually high. And she said to me, you know what, it's probably because you're choosing the right carbs and are aware of what you should and shouldn't eat. So it's working for you on that basis because I'm making the right choices. So when I say to you I'm eating a high carb diet, I'm not eating pasta and pizza every single day. That's not what I mean when I'm eating high carb. I'm saying that I'm eating carbs from like brown rice and quinoa and oats, whole grain rye bread, all the whole food type of grains that are minimally processed. So I guess from that perspective it also makes a huge difference in terms of what choices you're making and also your caloric intake for the day. I mean, I'm very aware of what I eat in a day. I don't overdo it. I try and keep a balance, and I don't overly restrict myself either because I just know, based on past experience, that doesn't work either. Reason being, the more you restrict yourself, the more you feel the need to have everything, and because it's like so desired because it's off balance. So I really do believe in balance. But what it did tell me was that I do need to increase my omega-3. It also let me know that I need to increase my omega-6s and omega-9s and a few other vitamins which I needed to tweak just to ensure that my body is maximizing absorption. Because certain types of genetic combinations can again affect how your body responds to the intake of different foods and absorption of those foods. So that's really interesting. It also let me know about they call it sweet tooth sensitivity. So for me, I actually have quite a sweet tooth. So it's important for me to reduce my sugar intake as much as possible because it is something that can be reversed. So in other words, the less you eat sugar, the more comfortable you feel around cravings, because when you feed the craving, it kind of just escalates. But if you minimize your sugar intake over time, that can kind of be reduced. So you don't have those cravings. And I really don't find that I have any issues with cravings because I don't really eat much sugar. And if I do feel like something sweet, I'd rather have something sweet from something that I've made at home where I'm using xylitol or stevia to sweeten rather than sugar per se, because that has a different impact on my blood sugar levels. The test was really informative, just helped me understand what I needed to tweak in my diet to maximize my nutrition intake and to ensure that I am at optimal health level. So while it did surprise me, and that's not to say I'm not going to go and eat low carb because of what the test results say, because ultimately I'm seeing results eating the way I am. This is the leanest I've ever been. My body fat's much lower than it was before, and I'm actually eating more. So this low carb approach wasn't necessarily working for me. Perhaps I was eating too much protein, I'm not sure. I'm very happy with how I'm eating at the moment, and I have made the necessary tweaks on my vitamin and micronutrient intake. So yeah, I'm feeling really good and healthy, and I really feel like it did help me get insight into the very deep things that I wouldn't otherwise have known. Because it's kind of going into your body. Specifically, it's analysing your genes, it's giving you results based on you specifically, which I love. Because there's no generalizations, it's about you. I did have a few questions around, how do they know that these specific combinations mean X or mean Y when it comes to diet? And you'll see that in my blog post, if you visit www.coralicious.com and you go into my blog post, you'll see that my Dnalysis blog explains all the different answers to those questions that I actually asked Danny, who is the founder of Dnalysis. He was amazing enough to answer all my crazy questions, because there were some very odd ones. But I believe it's important to ask those kind of questions because, those are some of the things that you guys might be wondering out there. So I asked all the crazy stuff for you already. Then with regards to the health one, again, it also told me what kind of genetic propensities I might have to diabetes, to cancer, to inflammation, a whole bunch of different things. And that was again really informative because it will help me going forward ensure that I do the necessary things in my life to ensure that I minimize the risk around those specific areas. So for example, one big one is that my body is quite prone to inflammation. So that means I need to ensure from a nutritional perspective, this is now why the diet aspect comes in, that I need to have my anti-inflammatory omega-3s in my diet, and I need to be eating lots of flaxseed oil and other things to help me to ensure that inflammation from that perspective is minimized. And then again from exercise, so like if I'm injured, I'm likely to get inflammation from injuries, more than say another person would, and that my rest needs are much higher. So that means that if I do exercise and it's high intensity, I might get inflammation from that, which means that I need to rest. So again, it's that balance of rest, training and diet to ensure that my inflammation is reduced as much as possible. The rest of it was quite positive, which I was really happy to see. There was no major red flags that I had to be too concerned about. But again, I feel like it really is very insightful, especially for people who have chronic conditions in their family, to see if you do have that. If you do, rather know now so that you can do what you need to do to make sure that that's not later expressed. And lastly, the sport test was also very interesting. It kind of just let me know what my body would respond best insofar as what type of exercises, my exercise needs, which I also found very interesting. So some people have a very high exercise need and others have a low exercise need in order to, like, for example, maintain your weight. I have a pretty standard exercise need. It's not too high, which is nice because it means I don't have to kill myself to maintain my weight. But at the same time, it does say that from a health and well-being perspective, it's still important to to exercise as much as possible to keep your stress levels down. So it said that I should do like a very holistic type of training. So for example, yoga and high intensity and swimming and dancing and whatever else. But what I really liked about the test was that it's not prescriptive. So it doesn't say to you, you have to run or you have to do CrossFit or you have to do dancing. It's kind of like, this is the type of cardio-based training you should be doing, and then it's like plugging in what you like into that. So for example, if it means that you need a lot of cardio, find something that's high cardio that you like. If you hate running, go swimming. If you don't like swimming, do dancing. If you don't like dancing, play volleyball, that kind of thing. So it's very much of making it sensible for your life specifically. These reports are really simple to understand because they give you summaries of each section, provide you with the detail, and then they give you a summary. So it's like, in sum, this means X, Y, and Z for you, and you can kind of just take that. And for your own benefit, it's important to go the lengths and actually go and read up on each single section and understand what the different DNA combinations mean and why they mean what they do and so forth. The more you read up and learn, the more informed you are. And these reports are very, very comprehensive in that aspect. So taking the time to really understand what it is that each section means is to your benefit. Would I recommend Dnalysis? I most certainly would. I think that it is a very informative test. I think it's smart in that it is specific to you. It makes sense. There is scientific basis for it, and I really like the approach. It's there's no guessing games in what you're doing. Also, if something's working for you and your test says otherwise, don't be frightened to ask the question. Get the information, understand your body, get the genetic results, and then also make sure that you are able to tune into your body and understand what you really need. So the combination of that is a really great way to approach the whole Dnalysis experience. I really hope that this has helped you make a decision as to whether or not you would go for something like this. I personally highly recommend it. I've been wanting to do it for years and years, so I'm so glad that I finally got a chance to do it, and that's why I wanted to share this information with you so that you can make an informed decision. It's not a cheap exercise, and so it needs to be worthwhile for you, and that's why I'm sharing this information so that you can make your decision based on someone who's already, gone through the process. So if you do have any questions about my experience that I haven't answered today, please feel free to comment below or to drop me an email, cara@caralicious.com, CARALISHIOUS. You can also catch me on my blog, www.caralicious.com. And please follow me on social media and on my YouTube page @The Cara Collective. I'm going to be sharing lots more reviews and stories like this because I really believe that there's so much, with regards to health and wellness and fitness out there. So it's about filtering through a lot of the nonsense and actually getting down to the stuff that really works. So I hope this has helped you, and I will definitely share lots more fun things with you guys. Much love.